Hi, I'm Michelle Dawson. I'm the Managing Director of Community Services. And my role is responsible for our services to the community and our community strategy, which is around really working to ensure that communities thrive and we connect people to opportunities. I think within my career, there's a few people that have kind of inspired me in terms of enabling me to sort of grasp opportunities, but they won't mean anything to anyone else. I really do admire the Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern. I think she provides really inspirational leadership, very attuned in terms of emotional well-being, and I think the leadership that she has shown her country during really critical times has really demonstrated that you can actually bring, as a woman, into a leadership role, that combination of strength, but also really understanding that goes with emotional well-being. So I find her at the moment a really inspiring figure on the world stage, but something that you can look to and emulate in your own leadership style. So I haven't had a sort of what I would say as a conventional career path in terms of really understanding and knowing right from an early age, like, I want to be this. And I would say for me, I didn't fall into what I was doing, but I sort of developed a passion for the area of work that I'm in now. So I think if I was to look back on my younger self, I would really give myself that advice, and it's something that I do pass on. And I talk to my niece a lot about, who's 18, about really finding your passion and being able to kind of, develop your own path. I think it's having that belief and having that confidence at a younger age that make sure that you open yourself up to opportunities, that you explore, that you can always continue to learn and to grow, and just being mindful for that. This pressure on you when you're whatever age to kind of clearly have an idea of a trajectory of what you want to go into. And life isn't necessarily like that. Life will present you with opportunities, with challenges, with barriers. And it's about, for me, it's about the skills that you learn. I worked in retail when I was 16. And I always say that, working in retail part-time when I was 16, and the skills that I learned in terms of being able to engage with people, that kind of customer service skills, working within a team, all of those aspects were absolutely fantastic building blocks for what I've then gone on in terms of being able to do. So I've worked for the last sort of 18-20 years. I've worked predominantly in the property industry and regeneration industry, which is dominated by men. So I work with some really dynamic personalities, and my work was sort of focused on the impacts that we made on the community. And ensuring that was seen as something that, this isn't a nice to have that we just do because it's a good thing. It was about ensuring that what we were delivering, you could actually visibly see. So from a perspective of really challenging that kind of equality and those stereotypes, it was trying to get that level playing field with the people, the project teams that I was working around, to really find that voice. And I wouldn't say that it was that I had to then, because I was a woman, have to overcome how they might perceive me. It was more around, for me, it was around the challenge of the subject area and that my passion, which is around the impacts that we were having on the community. So for me, challenging that was about being able to kind of articulate, use the right language, talk through the business benefits, and just use that platform to really sort of change the perception of what we did. It didn't really occur to me at the time that, you know, I'm a woman in a predominantly male industry that is delivering this particular sort of stream of the business. It was more about me, you know, really sort of channeling the passion, you know, what I could see was the business benefit and being able to put that up centre. When I was approached about a role and about going into a role, and it was a really challenging opportunity, and it was an opportunity for me to work with someone again who I greatly admired, and I sort of jumped at the chance because I really, you know, that I really enjoyed working with this person. If I was to go back again, I probably would have had a little bit more due diligence and probably trusted my instinct a little bit more. And my instinct was telling me where I was at the time. I still had a lot of challenge. I still had a lot to do, and it was still going to, you know, give me all of the things that I value the most in terms of career satisfaction. So I think if I was to look at that moment again, I would trust my instinct and possibly not look at that, oh, there's something shiny and new over there, shall I go and explore it? I went into that opportunity and it didn't necessarily quite work out the way that I wanted it to, but I learned from it an awful lot. So, you know, it's not something that I necessarily regret, but because I don't believe that, you know, it's healthy to have those regrets. But I do think there are times where, you know, you look back with hindsight and you think, yeah, there were certain things that were perhaps pointing to kind of listen in a different way, and you really need to kind of lean into that. It's something you have to really practice, and I think I've learned the hard way, because I've had moments where I've literally hit the wall. It's like spinning all of those plates, isn't it? And a lot of the time, again, like from a well-being perspective, you know, you tend to sometimes push through things. You keep going. I hit sort of my mid-30s, and I was like, the huge part of my life that's kind of missing from a well-being perspective is the activity. So what I found is actually going out there, finding a way to get active. So I've worked with a PT. I find that just so brilliant to kind of balance my well-being. I literally go and hand over sort of my body and my brain for an hour, and someone tells me what to do, which is fantastic because I don't have to make any decisions in that hour. And you know, during that time, the mental health benefits that I get, totally, for me, make sure that I get that balance there. So again, I think it's about really listening to your body, finding those ways and those outlets, you know, whether it be an hour of exercise, whether it be really, you know, it's okay to walk away and go and have a coffee or do something different, or read a chapter of a book, or practice some mindfulness. It's okay to do that, and actually it puts you in a much better position to do that, and program that during your working day. Don't necessarily have that right at the end. There's only so much of you to go around. You've got to make sure that you're at your optimum health, and you're looking after that.